Right.
Oh.
So, welcome to our first official Nincompoops podcast with six of us here. Let's start with introductions. I'm Jim. I'm the guy who has a really deep voice, alter Evo that's lighting up on screen there. A little bit
What
about
if I
myself.
have a deep voice?
Stop that. All right. Yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm your standard generic person. I'm into video games, politics, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And yep, that's pretty much it about me. Next,
Hello,
Dean.
my name is Cloud Sleeper, also known as Dean. I am, your typical Asian boy. He likes video games. And yeah. And we're here. We have Kenny.
Hi. On Discord, I'm known as Drinking. In person, I'm known as Kenny. I'm the drinker and eater of the group. And I like to go fishing and drink. Now I'll pass it on to Jeffrey.
Hey guys, my name is Jeffrey, but you can call me Jeff for short. No, I'm not from 22 Jump Street, but my hobbies are hiking, going out, and cooking. Next.
Hey guys, I'm Ron, known as Kirby Boy. I'm the homeless man in this group, and yeah, I'm just a regular homeless person. Hello.
And hello. My name is Sierra Will, or real life name, Paul. I love long, romantic walks on the beach, reading through libraries of incredibly intelligent novels, and I'm also incredibly humble and the smartest person you'll ever meet. Hi.
Yeah, totally not conceited. Anyway,
Most humble.
we're doing we're doing this podcast because I figured it'd be a nice way for us to, we just talk about random crap all the time as a group of friends anyway, and I figured we might as well just live stream it and record it and upload it to YouTube just in case like one other person wants to hear us just talk about random shit. It's also a really nice way for us to look forward to, Wednesday, since Wednesday is like a really shitty day because it's like in the middle of the week. It gives us something to look forward to and do, and I think it'd be a lot of fun for us to just talk about whatever, like anything, everything.
That's the excuse we're using, but really, that's literally just a day where I think all of us are free.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that too. But yeah. So this is our first official episode, but we actually did a test last week. That one was supposed to be the official one, but the recording was never saved. So here we are with our first ever official podcast.
That was a practice run right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So we're still trying to figure like what we learned from last week is that this is not as easy as we thought it was, but we're hoping to get better at it because what we're trying to do is have our podcast be this kind of podcast where we just talk about things. It just flows into this whole other thing and just talk about whatever. But I think we need a little bit of structure first so we can practice and get better at this first. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
It's also incredibly unorthodox about the way we're doing a podcast format. Because at least for me, whenever I follow people or listen to podcasts, it's usually people I already know from like the YouTube sphere or Twitch or like any other like previous medium. As for us, we're just like some random blokes on the internet. It's like, hey, let's just do a podcast with like literally zero exposure. Otherwise,
Yeah.
How dare you call me a random bloke?
I
I'm
mean-
somebody.
we're all somebody, but to like everyone else out in the world, like who the hell are these assholes?
Yeah, I mean, once we promote this a little bit on our social media, maybe a few of our friends or people that we know will maybe tune in for a little bit. So maybe we'll get those.
And they'll
At
delete
least.
us from Facebook.
The hustle will be real.
They're like,
might
I'm not associated with these people.
These guys are disgusting.
Block and unfollow.
Unfriend.
But who knows, you guys, fellow viewers out there, you might be able to relate from our daily struggles. Who knows,
Yeah. So first, we've known each other all for a while now. But I figured a first fun topic to talk about first would be uh, f- uh, first and current impressions. That way you can know a little bit more about who we were and who we are now, and and we'll have fun just doing a little bit of reminiscing about how we met and all that stuff in the past. So I'm gonna confirm with you guys to see how you guys want to do this, but I think the way to go for first and current impressions is that we do each person like in turns. So we're like if we're doing first and current impressions of like Jeffrey, we'll all give our input about Jeffrey, and then we move on to the next person instead of like I'll go first and I'll talk about my first impressions of Dean, and then Kenny, and then Jeffrey, and then Ron, and then Sierra. So I think the first way is better, but unless you guys think the second way is better, we can go with that.
First way's better.
Yeah, no, the first option sounds good to me. It sounds like most
Yeah, that sounds
efficient.
good.
Yeah. All right. So, I, who wants to go first for this?
I think since we did top to bottom, we should start bottom to top this time. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So we'll do first and current impressions of Paul.
Yes.
Okay. And then
All right,
Ron
sounds
can
good.
start first.
Me? Oh, okay, cool. The first time I met Paul was my senior year, and wow, I've never seen this man smile ever. Ever. This guy looked like he hated the world, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I still do.
okay, first of all, it's more of like he's I wouldn't say he's not approachable, but it's like he just has like a resting bitch face the whole time, and his signature Oakley's glasses. And oh, sorry, I'm signature Oakley's glasses, and the camo pants. That was it. That was Paul.
And as soon as we went to
those
boot
were
camp,
those were not Oakley glasses. I
as
was
soon as we went to boot
I'm
camp, he had those the BLT shirts too that you wore all the time.
Never ever have you seen him wear regular clothes besides it's cargo pants or pants with a lot of pockets. Like
Look,
maybe
dude,
shorts
cargo.
here and there, but-
I hate jeans. I prefer comfort over looks.
yeah, but it was if you were to like, hey, how did old Paul look like back then? That's how I explain camo or BDUs. The any shirt that has navy on it, and Oakley's or sunglasses. Whether you're indoors or outdoors, he's even sleeping with them.
To be fair though, those are not Oakley sunglasses.
Those are
like,
Iron Man.
Those are like $5 to $10.
Yeah,
Target.
because back then it was like broke Paul, like no money Paul.
We're high schoolers, of course. We had
Yeah,
no
yeah,
money.
yeah.
A real high school would have made their sunglasses out of cardboard.
Oh, is it me?
And,
Yeah.
Hello
Yep.
to the 6 viewers, by the way.
All right.
Like
So-
I think like 6 of us is all of us. So.
Are we just gonna do?
No,
Are we
I
doing?
wasn't. I'm not on it. I'm not on it.
Are we doing like
Okay.
first impressions first, and then next person, and then we go back to like current impressions, or we're just doing first impressions?
I
And
think-
first?
Let's
say
do
we do
first
first.
and then current. Yeah.
All right.
Like we all get our first and then not current. I think that'll flow a little bit better or make more sense.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So
Jeff?
it'd be my first impression on Paul, right? So I didn't
Yeah.
meet him until I would say freshman year of high school, and I didn't really get to know him until second semester. It was mainly, I think I met you through your cousin because she introduced me to you. And honestly, you were very skinny, Paul. If I remember correctly, you weighed on the scale 115 pounds. But you could run. I'll give it to you. You could run in PE. Not only that, yeah, I'll be honest. You were a little tanner side of an Asian, so I was like, okay, but you're a pretty nice guy. Once I get to know you, you are quiet though, I must admit. So it took a while to know you, but nonetheless, you did play Team Fortress 2 and other shooting games, so that's how we got to know each other even better. It was actually really fun. Nonetheless, we were about almost like the same height too, but
We more or less still are.
yeah, I think we're always. I just know that you were like same height throughout high school. It was actually really interesting.
Wow.
I think you also, as I have to agree with Ron, you never really smiled. That's what got my attention, dude. You have to like crack a smile. I think I was one
you're
of those
not
few
getting an
people.
argument out of me.
Yeah, I was actually. I feel like I was one of those few people in the beginning that could finally make you smile. It's not just. It was hard. It wasn't just me. There's other people that kind of had to break into you. You know. So, yeah. Okay, that sounded weird, but that was my first impression of you.
Already so far, I sound like the biggest tsundere in the world.
It's
Yeah.
not like I like you, Jeffrey, or anything. But
Baka.
Baka.
Bucket.
Yeah.
All right. Any more to add, Jeff? Or
Oh, that's all my first impression.
all right, Kenny.
Alrighty. My first impression of Paul, we go way back.
Hell yeah.
Back to 5th grade? 4th grade?
Fifth grade.
5th grade. On the contrary to Jeffrey and Ron, I actually met Paul when he was smiling.
Wow.
Oh wow.
There,
There
back
must have been
when
a sight to
Paul-
see.
back when Paul had a soul.
For back when
Correct.
Paul had 4 moves and one of them was smiling, and then you forgot it.
Only
Like,
worry I
Yeah,
had
he
as a
had
fifth
to-
grader.
it was an initial, move set that he learned.
Back then, Paul used to be the hot Cheeto guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
hot Cheeto
Whenever-
guy.
That's right.
During sometimes, I remember we would
Oh,
be in the
shit.
cafeteria, and then there would be some people, some other classmates, where we didn't like the baked hot Cheetos, so we always took it and gave it to our friends. And then I remember specifically one time I saw Paul with at least a good 6 baked hot Cheeto bags. But yeah, so my first impression of Paul was like he really likes hot Cheetos.
I was never given. I never had chips at home as a child. That was the only time. I was deprived.
And you got to live your life through those hot Cheetos.
Hell yeah.
And you never saw
Food, baby.
a kid with the biggest smile ever for getting chips.
All right.
And that was it for my first impression of Paul.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. Cause it was after that day, that was when your cousin told me about you, and I'm like, oh, interesting. Your cousin likes a lot of chips.
Hell yeah.
All right. And if that's it, then Dean, your turn.
My first impression of Paul. So I didn't, I didn't interact with Paul. I think until like junior year, around there. But I've seen him around because he as Ron mentioned, he had the BDU fucking Oakley's combo, so he was very noticeable. But I didn't know him until junior year. And my first impression of Paul is, he was kind of weird. He never smiled. And yeah, I was like, man, this guy is depressed or something, or angry, one of those two. I just couldn't get, And then there was this one time in high school where me and another person were trying to make jokes about Paul, how he's gonna end up marrying a drill sergeant. And that was the funniest shit we've ever come up with. And that's all I have.
All right. So, pretty much everyone here, we all know each other. I mean, we met each other at different points, but we all know each other from RTC. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a high school version of the military, but like a lot less of the things you do in the military. But that was what the essence of it was.
It was just
And-
like an elective
So
thing.
essentially, we're pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend military, yeah.
Yeah.
And all of them met because they're all the same age except Ron, who's a year older than the rest of them. But I'm the youngest one. I'm 23, and I'm 2 years younger than them. So I met them freshman year, and I was freshman year, and then they were juniors, and then Ron was a senior. And my first impression of Paul was I remember, I think he was in my RTC class, but I just didn't notice until I met Paul in a drill team after school, and I remember me and my friend from high school we got goaded into joining Paul's drill team, and then after school, we were just like, oh, okay, we're supposed to do something after school, I guess. I didn't really have an idea of what drill or anything of that was at the time. And then all of a sudden, I hear some loud ass voice saying, "Okay, hold in." And then I was like, what the fuck? And that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, this is a pretend military class. Oh shit. Because because all the classes we did in class, it wasn't like, it didn't give me that feeling until Paul started like yelling all the damn time. So we fell in, and then Paul just kept yelling. He gave this really long speech, like, if you're gonna quit, then get out of my platoon now. If you're not gonna give you 100%, get out of my platoon now. And then he just he did that speech for like a whole like 3 minutes. And I was just like, oh shit, what have I done? What did I get myself into? And I stuck by with the drill team because I was just afraid of telling Paul I don't want to do it anymore. He was like really intimidating. And then whenever he looked, we made eye contact. At that time, he didn't have LASIK surgery or PRK surgery, so
I had really shitty eyesight.
So he needed to wear glasses, but he chose not to wear glasses. So whenever he looked at me, he'd be squinting his eyes, and I was like, "Why is he giving me the death stare?"
Did it look like he was giving you the rapey vibes?
Less rapey, more like I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, it
So
helps.
this is first impression. So he, Paul struck fear on that run. If you didn't know Paul.
Yeah. So he
It's very
was
true.
really intimidating when I first met him, and I just never thought we'd be friends because I was like, this guy's scurry. All right, and yeah, that'll be it for my first impression of Paul.
Awesome.
All right. Now we're moving on to big run.
All right.
Or run.
So big run.
Actually, I was asking you guys want to do current for Paul, and then we
Yeah.
move on to Ron. Yeah.
We can do current. We can do current.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
All
about.
right, I guess I'll just like wait my turn
Yeah,
until later.
Yeah.
Your turn.
This is just
You
like,
sit there, buddy.
this is currently just Alcoholics Anonymous right now, but just
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
stroking Paul's ego right
Yeah.
now.
Or I would say stroking Paul's ego and maybe a little bit beating it down.
Nah,
Now
man,
it's beating it down.
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
Now
Oh.
it's beating it down.
Paul, stop touching
Alright.
your thighs. Come on, we know you're doing it.
All right.
We'll talk about that in the fetish
Yeah.
discussion
Yeah.
later.
All right.
Alright, so it's my turn, right?
Yeah. Current.
Correct.
Current
Kurt
impressions of Paul.
Paul, lately Kurt Paul has been unamusing because every time he comes over, he just sits in the corner, puts some headphones on, and And I was just like, Paul, come join all of us.
Paul sounds like a villager dog.
Yeah, this is like giving me the vibe like as if like I haven't really changed that much since high school.
But yeah, but I mean, cool. It's still Paul's still a nice guy. He still doesn't really smile, but when certain times he will pop a smile, and you wonder like, it's like, is that a real smile or is this a creepy smile? You know?
So fuck. I thought you were about to say like a polite smile.
No.
No,
You do
no.
a polite smile with like strangers, but we've seen you in the gym, Paul. All right, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
my current impression of Paul, because of the pandemic, yeah, I get that you don't really go out too much and hang with us, but still, compared to back then, you do go out now. You never went out. You never wanted to go out, and it's crazy to see you transform how you do go out now and are willing to hang with us. You could still crack a smile, and honestly, I've known you for how long now? More than like 8 years. So you definitely changed over time, not in a bad way, but I feel like we got to know each other really well. So
Hey.
I just hope you would come out one day. Just you can put a face mask on to just hang out with us.
Yeah. No, you know, Paul, we'll buy you a hazmat suit. There you go.
That's my Christmas present right there.
Come on, we got 200 IQ this. Paul, you can wear the dinosaur suit.
I wear it on top of my hazmat.
Hey, there's AC. You'll be fine. You won't be
No.
sweating.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so
It's-
I just wish you'd hang out
It's
with us a little
considered
bit
full
more.
body armor, man. The
Yeah.
dinosaur suit.
But
My
nonetheless, go ahead. I'm pretty much done.
Oh, okay. My current impression of Paul, probably. I feel like you're one of the more productive people within the friends I know.
Hey,
Like,
hey.
like my other friend groups, like all they've been doing from what I've seen is them playing Animal Crossing, them watching Netflix shows or anime. But then Paul, I messaged you like maybe a week ago, see how you were doing, I think. And then I remember
Probably.
Paul was doing his usual, studying, working out still, keeping himself busy, which I applaud you, especially during what Jeffrey said during this pandemic. Most people are afraid to go out, but Paul, I think, how do I say this?
You're gonna make me cry, man.
Paul,
Hey, there's full of chick flick moments in this podcast.
You know, I
guys.
have like a water bottle ready for my throat, but not napkins for my tears.
but yeah, Paul's really doing what other people aren't as doing as much. Like he's still working out. Like I was honestly ever since I came back, I haven't been working out as often. I probably like do like maybe at most 30 minutes of cardio once or twice a week, and then it was like, oh man. But when I was still in SoCal, I was working out more often during this, but when I came back, I'm not as productive as I used to. So so I guess you could say I'm inspired by you. That's my current impression.
Ooh.
Man, can we just have like an entire podcast just like talking about this, just stroking my
Wow,
ego?
it's like, it's like, hey, can you
rubbing
guys
his
just
leg.
rub my thighs? That's what Paul's asking. Just rub my thighs,
But-
please.
But then another side of me saying Paul's a little bitch for not hanging out with us.
There we are. There we are.
Can't be
There's
too
the balance
wholesome now.
right there. Can't be too wholesome. And no
Yeah.
oohs allowed here.
But yeah, that's my current impression of Paul.
Hey, I'll take it.
Hey. Alright. My current impression of Paul is what Kenny said. He's a little bitch for not hanging out with us. You know, but I do see him time to time when he gets his haircut, you know, say how do you do, good sirs? And yeah, he's very different from the time where I met him first. He's just a sick freak like me, a comrade perhaps. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really have for Paul. We're
Funny
just
enough, I
talking.
was planning to come by, get a haircut today, but really busy with groceries.
That's all he goes out for, guys. He just needs his things to get done. That's it. That's all he cares about.
That's all I
His-
care about. I'm a very selfish person.
He's very
You
active
know.
in there, right?
Oh, Paul, you can get your haircut on Friday.
On
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, you should get your haircut on Friday.
Yeah, you
Around
should.
8 p.m. I'm free.
Alright.
All right.
That's all
What am I doing on Friday? I might be out for a run at that time though.
Well, you know what? Whenever you come back from a run, you know, at least you get the
I
shower.
know,
out of
I know
the
a
way.
good ending point for your run. It's
Even
Oh,
fuck.
boy.
Hold on.
We had one job. We had one job.
okay. You know what? It's okay. We can do our thing. It's at Dean's house.
Yeah, it's not at my house. It's at Dean's house.
Yeah.
Demon fuck. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Seaman fuck. All right. So my first what the fuck current impression of Paul. So now that I know Paul more than I did, I think it's been almost 9 years now. Wow. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost 9 years now, and yeah, I gotta say it's not quite the same. My current impression of Paul is that he's a good guy. Like Paul used to give me rides to work even when he absolutely didn't have to, and I'm like, I'm always gonna be grateful for that. And another thing Paul has helped me like learn is that two things. One is politics. Like I was always like a left leaning person. Like I would have voted Bernie Sanders in the general if he got the nomination in 2016. But over the time, we would talk about help the world and religion and all that stuff, and then he's helped me strengthen my beliefs in what I believe, and I probably wouldn't have gotten that from anyone else, and yeah, so now I'm really a big time into this stuff, and I follow it like basically every day. Another thing he taught me was about sexuality. So at first, like I used to be like, when it used to come to that stuff, I'd be like a lot of like with a lot of American culture where we're like, we're kind of hush hush about like a lot about certain things. Like we don't talk about jerking it because it's like that's just not normal. But and then I realized that no, that's actually weird because it's normal for people to to be to pornography, to to do stuff like that, and people who don't do that stuff, they're the more weird ones, for like saying that it's weird to talk about or think about it. So I think that's like one really important thing I learned from Paul throughout the years, and now that now that I said that, I also think Paul's a freak.
There we go. I was like,
Paul said the other day, not the other day, last year actually, last year to this point in time, about Paul said something along the lines of him rubbing, like he was talking about experience in Japan, like having sex, right? And he was saying how like he said to us, you know how when you guys rub your own leg, it feels really good and you get turned on, and we're all like, no, no,
we'll talk about this later. We'll go into more detail about this later when I have a chance to defend myself.
So he.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah. There's that. Paul's kind of a freak when it comes to that stuff. He's also watched some really interesting things. Yeah. What else? Anything other than that? Yeah, that might be it. Overall, he's a good guy, though. He can be a little weird sometimes.
So overall impressions of me: used to be quiet guy, used to be angry. Now he's like I'm a freaky political guy who's like into some weird shit.
What a freak.
What a freak.
Yeah. So next we're moving to Ron.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess
Oh, you get to talk now, Paul.
the best part of the podcast is already over. It only goes downhill from here.
Wow!
Ooh.
yeah, maniac.
The ego in this one.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. So
But you know what they say? It's always good to have a good start.
yeah, good start, but it only gets worse from here. This is the part where you guys.
But we're gonna have a better ending.
Yeah, you just skip the rest. Just go straight towards the end, just like a porn video. All right, you only watch like the first like couple minutes and like okay, skip the rest and go right towards the end.
I kind of want to talk about that too, actually, but yeah.
Sounds like it's
this
just
is a,
you, but okay.
An anime. You get the opening. Now you get like the first part. All right, do the honors, Paul. First impression.
All right, first impressions of Ron. Well,
Yes, sir.
that was like back in I was like a junior at the time. Ron was a senior. He had just joined the unit at the time, and I think probably the first time I saw him was during marching unit practice. The thing that Jim was talking about before. And my impressions, honestly, I've never seen this guy before, so I just seemed like, oh, really tall freshman. I didn't know he was like a senior or anything like that.
Dude, I thought the same thing.
I thought he was like he's just a really tall freshman. Like, okay, whatever. I didn't really think much on it because like did the whole marching unit thing. That was like about the trials for like 2 weeks long, I think, until like people went their separate ways to either like drill team with arms or color guard, or if they decided to stick around with the marching unit, or just like screw this, I'm out. So I didn't really get much of impressions of Ron. Like, oh, okay, he knows his left and his rights. That's pretty much it. So yeah, it's pretty boring at that end. Just this really tall freshman guy has long hair, and that's it.
Man, wait till you hear my first impression of Ron.
For my first impression of Ron, I'll admit he's actually pretty tall. he's a guy that carries a guitar around school that I would always like see. And yeah, I didn't really get to like know him until he joined the same program, the unit that we're in. I must admit he is actually a pretty friendly and sociable guy, and that's how I got to know him. And he plays music during break too, which was nice. So I'll give you that, Ron. And what else of the first impression? I knew you were thinking about joining RTC at one point, but then you didn't get to, so you finally joined in your last year when you figured it was like this is the time. You had most of your friends that were in it anyway, so you said, "All right, I might as well just join." That's how we all
I,
became good friends. Go ahead.
no, I think no, I joined because my counselor told me that I don't know why, me, I have a neighbor in my house that was in the RTC too,
Mhm.
but I just never really thought of. I didn't think what it was. I was just like, oh, why are you dressing up, dude? Like, the fuck is this? And then we live in the same. We live in. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. We live in the same, neighborhood. But it was just like, oh, I don't. Why are you dressing up again? I forget. You're weird. But at the same time, I in the end I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna join the Navy because I want to do this. So that's
Ah.
why. That's the biggest reason why I joined the RTC.
Lies.
Oh. Oh, and adding on. God, there was one more. It was right on my head too. Oh, right. Yeah, you really are a friendly guy. That's my first impression of you. Yeah, you taught me how to drive a car. To be honest, you're one of the few people that first taught me how to drive a car. So, that I'll leave that at that.
My first impression of Ron, I believe we met in my freshman year, high school. We had the same geometry class.
Geometry, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wild, bro.
At first, I believe I thought he'd be a quiet type of guy from his outer appearance. He had long skater boy hair, carried a guitar,
I haven't forgot about
but
that.
Yeah.
and then but after maybe 2 to 3 weeks of seeing him hanging out in front of this classroom with some mutual friends, that's when we kind of talked a little bit more, but we were still considered acquaintances at the time. And then throughout being acquaintances, he was a pretty chill dude. Listening to him play guitar, and then I believe we played. I think we played frisbee one time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
We played
then
frisbee.
just as time went on during my freshman year of high school, during our geometry class, that's when our friendship became a bit stronger.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, for everybody listening, we're not great at geometry. we
Yeah,
were
we're
we
not.
were at the bottom of that class.
Yeah. Just to add in, man, I think only me and Kenny, the only one that saw your long hair. Like everyone.
I've only seen
Jeffrey?
pictures, but
Oh,
that's about it.
I've
Oh no,
seen Ron
I'm
with his
pretty
long
sure
hair.
Jeffrey's seen long hair
Yeah,
too.
Jeffrey.
I had pretty longish hair.
I've only seen pictures of Jeffrey's long hair too. Yeah.
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 But yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, don't go back there.
going back as time went on, Ron and I started fucking around in our geometry class. I remember during the winter it was raining, and then our classroom had a leak, so it'd be dripping. And then I remember Ron would randomly like break his eraser and toss it at me, and then I just look, I'm like, what the hell? Is that a leak hitting right here?
Like, what the hell?
Yep. And then yeah, but yeah, overall, pretty chill, pretty fun dude when I first met him. and I don't remember if it was you or you and somebody else, but then the three of us, whenever we start messing around in class, our geometry teacher would always be yelling our name, especially me when I didn't do homework.
Dude,
Yeah,
what is homework? You know what
For
I'm saying,
reals.
bro?
But yeah.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
about it.
some. I get the feeling something tells me we are probably going to be on this. This
Yeah.
are going to be our only topic for today.
Yeah, I think
That's-
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go further, but
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
I think we said this is gonna take like 15 minutes, but it's not looking like it's 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
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 That's all right though. We can wait.
Yeah,
If we don't finish, we can just save the topics for another one.
It's fine.
Yeah.
This is a good.
Yeah.
It's
good
It's
topic.
a good intro. It gets a
yeah.
basis or a foundation of like.
It's
who
like a
you
nice-
are.
who we are.
icebreaker.
Yeah.
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 All right. My first impression of Ron is he stole my height. inside the womb. I asked him why he took it. He said it's it's. I'm pretty sure it was personal, but he just shrugged it off, and he came out the room. 10 months later, I came
Disrespect.
out.
It's like I was like, hey, stay there. You're a
Yeah.
pleb. You
Yeah.
don't belong out there.
So I had to stay another 10 months in the womb, and I was born. But yeah, in short, we're brothers. We have the same wavelength.
Yeah, we're kind of like twins.
Well, not height wise, but yeah.
Yeah. No. Wavelength. He meant like we're in the same line because it goes
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and it goes down.
That's all I have to say.
All right. My turn, or you have anything more? Dad.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So my first impression of Ron was, back how it worked for RTC is like, if it's your first year, you're an NS1, and then second year NS2, so on, so on, so on. So he was Ron was an NS1, and I thought he was like, wow, you tall as fuck, and I was like, damn, I wish I could be that tall someday. And then I went for like I think a month or two, thinking like he was a freshman the whole time, and then he was like picking up all the drill stuff really fast. I was like, wow. You have a talent for this. You got this shit hella quick, but it turns out you're a senior and you already knew some people, and I was like, huh. And I found out you and Dean were brothers, and I was like, huh. Like, the height difference though, they're like a whole foot apart.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. So I thought you were a cool dude. You always talked to me a little bit, but we didn't really know each other that much. I remember you having a class with me and Dean for a little bit before you transferred to a different period for RTC, right?
Yeah. I was in April's class, and then we got transferred, and then me and Kenny got into the same class.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I only saw you then, and then after you left our class, I was like, oh, you disappeared. I guess that's it. But yeah, overall, I thought you were a cool dude. From the times I did talk to you, I went over your house a couple of times back then too. At
Yeah, that's right.
at
that's right.
when you guys owned like an actual house or rented or something. I don't know.
You were still a quiet dude, Jim.
Huh?
You were a quiet dude then.
Hey, it's not my turn yet. All right.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll probably get there in like another
Sorry.
30 minutes.
I'm literally the last.
so hard.
Jeffrey, jump
I
to the
know,
gun.
I jumped the gun.
Alrighty. Current impressions.
All right, current impressions of Ron. I'll try to keep this quick because we've already like burnt a lot of time. But current impressions of Ron, mostly just like, he's the Marine Corps guy in our group, and sometimes like, and with that, his time in the military, very probably the most offensive guy in our entire group.
I mean,
I just-
offensive. What do you mean? What is that
Offensive.
supposed to mean?
The words that
Oh.
shall not be named here.
The words that come out of my mouth are just like glorious, bro. What are you talking about? I'm
The sounds-
cultured, all right.
Like the sounds he makes, I'm like, I can't. As a very triggered, politically
Hey, I'm a very
involved
cultured
person.
person. How dare you?
But yeah, my current impression, he's like the guy that likes to cook. But as I said before, the Marine Corps guy. And since I'm also planning to go in, I want to say probably like later this year because I've like been, my studies are almost done and I've gotten to the point where like, okay, my pull-ups and my running times are getting like a lot faster, so I think I should be able to do it. I always like to compare nowadays. Like, I wonder if I were to like compete against Ron in these sorts of situations because this guy's buff as fuck, and so I was like, want to see like, shit, how do I compare to this guy? And that's pretty much it for now.
All right.
Jeffrey.
My current impression is, yeah, this guy is like the jarhead of the group. He is the muscle, but he does have. Not all jarheads. It's not, I'm not saying he's stupid or anything. I'm saying that he actually has, he has a brain and he's a jarhead. So that's my current impression of him to this day. He's still friendly. I have to agree with Paul. He does have a lot of words that should not be named here. That is pretty. I can't really break this down. I'm sorry,
He's
guys.
expressive. It's okay.
Yeah, he's very expressive. That you'll be like, holy shit, did he really? So that's my current impression. But yeah, man of culture is what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
That's what we'll use.
man of culture is actually the right term. Sorry, I don't mean any offense here. Nonetheless, yeah, man, like he's actually helping me getting back into shape until the pandemic hit. So thank you, Ron. I hope we can work out again one day. So that's my current impression.
All right.
My current impression of Ron. He's motivational. Like for Jeffrey, he also helped. Well, not just Ron, but also Dean, Paul, Jim. We all used to work out together. And then it was my first time back working out in since high school, and then they all helped me out. So they're all inspirational and motivational for me. I feel like my current impression. I feel like Ron could be a pretty good role model for kids, minus his man of culture expressiveness.
That's debatable.
Hey.
The reason why I say he could be a perfect role model, he knows how to take care of others, meaning, and himself, meaning he could cook, clean, and whatnot. He knows how to defend himself when needed. Very reliable, trustworthy, and so on, so forth. But yeah, just keeping it short here.
All right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know who you guys talking about, but this guy's a big bully dog. Yo, this guy stole my legs.
That's all he's talking about, bro. He's still stealing my legs till this
Yeah,
day.
still I always think about, man, I could have been at least 2 inches taller, but he said no, I'm gonna take all of them.
Yeah.
And
It was like the jeans were on the table and he just
Yeah.
swiped them all, so leaving you some.
yeah, but he's very cool. We usually get along pretty nice. No, we usually have the same taste of music, humor, and some cultural stuff. But we just have the small differences,
Yeah,
types and all.
Heights.
Yeah. No, I said types, not heights. Come on, guys.
Oh.
Small differences. Yeah, a little.
small
he's a little-
differences.
he's a little
Maybe
shorter.
a couple inches. Yeah, that's it.
Let it go, mijo.
Never-
All right. So, my current impression of Ron, yeah, I get along with him pretty well, and I also share some of his culture. He can be a bit of a dick sometimes, but I'm also kind of a dick sometimes. So,
yeah, he's a big bully.
because our dickness synergizes, it works well between the two of us.
So what he's saying is our
Sense
dicks
of
are the
threat
same
there.
size.
Yeah, same exact size. To
Share,
the
synergy.
to the centimeter, bro.
Bro.
Yeah. That's about it. Just
Yeah.
I get along with them well.
All right. First impression of Jeffrey. Let's
Oh
go.
no, can we skip me? Just
No.
kidding.
Nah, nah. Everyone has to suffer, but everyone
Shit.
eventually like, oh, this is a good ego stroke. But first impressions of Jeffrey. All right, so this is like back in freshman year of high school, around like what 2010, I think. By that point, second semester.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like on that field trip to San Diego for the week, and I think it was probably like near the end of the trip, maybe like second to last day or third to last day. I just remember like I was just like sitting on the bus. It was at night. We are just leaving wherever we were leaving, and I just had an open spot next to me. And like some guy walked over, like, "Hey, is anyone sitting in that spot?" Like, "Nope, go ahead." And it was just some skinny Vietnamese kid with like some goofy hair. He sat down, and that was it. We did not talk at all. And by the time we came back from the trip from San Diego, that's why we like started talking a little bit more. And yeah, I think that's where one thing led to another, and that's how that friendship blossomed. It was just like some random guy just asking, "There's a
Sounded like
spot available."
and yeah, we're together now.
Yeah, they had the part where they fucking backstage.
Yeah, you know,
Giving each
that's
other
like-
handies.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Oh,
okay.
God.
It's okay. We'll probably learn it as as time goes
As-
on in our
Indeed,
podcast.
indeed.
Yeah. Alrighty. Ron,
Oh, huh?
first impression.
Of Jeff.
Oh, Jeffrey? Oh,
Of
first
Jeffrey.
impression of Jeffrey. Oh, I just thought it was like, oh, this is such a nice guy, and that was it. Jeffrey's such a nice guy. I can always count on Jeffrey, and I can talk to Jeffrey all the time. That was it, because I didn't meet Jeffrey in RTC. I met him prior to RTC.
All right.
Kenny?
Kenny.
Alrighty, my first impression of Jeffrey, I believe it was after 8th grade summer. It was summer school going to freshman year high school,
Yes, sir.
and then Jeffrey actually initiated the conversation with me. I think I was wearing my Bruce Lee shirt. He's like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. You like Bruce Lee?" I was like, "Yeah." And then after that, we started talking about like different martial arts actors like Jet Li, Jackie Chan, and then we built our friendship through martial arts movies. And then later on, I was thinking, oh, I never met anyone else who'd be as interested as martial arts movies as I did. So I felt that was it was an interesting moment for me. But also thought he was a nice guy. He was like, oh, he'd always ask, oh, how'd your day go? What'd you do? He was like genuinely curious about what you did. But yeah, overall first impression was he was an interesting dude, pretty nice, mellow. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Kenny.
Wow.
Keen.
Alright. My first impression of Jeffrey was this. We met in a different high school for an event. I believe it was Moose Soccer, and what Moose Soccer is pretty much soccer with 3 soccer balls.
And like
that's,
35 people on the field
yeah,
or
and
something,
then like
right?
35 people in the field.
70 actually total.
Oh, 70, right. 35's on
70
each team.
total,
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were I think we were eating lunch, and this guy just talked to me, and we were in the same unit pretty much, and yeah, we're just talking about the ROTC program and why we joined. Yeah, that's my first impression of Jeffrey. Nice guy.
Yeah, same here. Pretty much when I first met him, I was still learning everything that was going on in RTC, like the drill and knowledge and stuff. And Jeffrey would always make sure that I would understand. He was like, "Hey, you have any questions? You have any questions? Anything you're confused about?" And it was always nice having someone like that to to rely on if I did need to help learning something or whatever. So yeah, for quite a while I thought, I mean I still do. Jeffrey's just a really nice guy in general, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Current impressions.
Paul,
So-
All right, current impressions.
fire up the machine guns, Paul.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
we literally went through like 45 minutes. We're still on introductions. 45 minutes later.
We're
15 minutes,
halfway
by the
done.
way.
We're at
Current impressions of Jeffrey. Yeah, it hasn't really changed that much from high school. As everyone said before, he's a really nice guy. That really has not much changed that much in the last 10 years I've known him. I do remember he used to like say sorry a lot for like pretty much everything back then.
Mhm.
He doesn't say it as much. Yeah, I mean, look, he going from like saying sorry 90% of the time to like down to like 30% of the time. You know what? I'll take it. It's not as annoying, but I'll take it. He still says it quite frequently, but he's also a lot more offensive, a lot more aggressive nowadays. You know what? Which I'll take. So yeah, he's really not much has changed. Really nice guy, and still a really good friend of mine to this day.
Wow,
Which
they
I'll
sound
say.
Like lovers.
Hmm?
They sound like lovers.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
For real.
Match made.
Match
Hey,
made from heaven.
After the handy at the back of the bus, they had true mutual respect and love
Like a
for each
little
other.
Paul Lex
Yeah.
Jeffrey thing going on in the background that no one knows about,
Yeah.
but secretly everyone does.
Yeah, the viewers are gonna think that you guys are both actually gay for each other at some point.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Maybe not all of them, but some of them will.
Ship
Oh,
Paul
that'll
and
be-
Jeffrey.
Fan fiction,
Yeah.
fan art. As if we're famous though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the one viewer will
Yeah,
ship you
we'll
guys
see.
together.
Yeah. All right,
The
Ron.
ship name.
Well, I concur with Paul with Jeffrey being still nice, but then there are sometimes he does give off it's like Jeffrey, do you know what you're talking about? kind of vibe, and then it's just like, yeah, I think so, and they're just like, huh. So right, I don't know. It's still right now. Jeffrey does have like his own little weirdness, but hey, I'll take it.
He's a goofy fellow.
Much
Yeah,
love.
Get it? Cause he's goofy.
Actually, no, the viewers will
Yeah,
probably don't know that joke.
Okay,
Yeah.
his old Steam account used to be goofy, so that's the joke there.
Ah,
Alrighty, my current impression of Jeffrey, same as what Paul and Ron stated. He's still one of the nicest guy you ever meet. Like, I remember this one hangout we're just all drinking, having fun, and then after one of the conversations we're having, everything went quiet, and then Jeffrey whispers to me, "Hey, did I say something wrong?" And then I think Jeffrey's the only person here who asked, "Oh, did I say something wrong?" When
Yeah,
everything's
sure did.
perfectly fine. So he's the nicest motherfucker you see probably. But
Chill,
he,
Paul.
so yeah, just like how it is, still pretty nice guy, which is good. We need more nice people in the world, like Jeffrey.
right,
I
Mr.
agree. Yeah, my current impression of Jeffrey is he's such a little bitch. My guy
Ow.
can't even drink alcohol, dog. He passes out, man. He just passes out. But yeah, he is one of the nicest people and considerate. You know, out of all the people in the group. You know, but sometimes he has his phases where he sometimes says carrots taste like carrots. Kind of phase, you know.
Crap.
We'll explain that once
Yeah.
we get.
There's a
when we
lot
get
of things
that
we'll need to
point.
explain.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Alright, Jim.
All right. So yeah, like everyone else says, Jeffrey's still one of the nicest people that I know. If not the nicest, and yeah, he's still the same. And like Paul said, he did get a little bit more aggressive as the years passed. Sometimes he gets a little more aggressive towards like strangers. Usually, not as much towards us.
He knows better.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, Jeffrey's can sometimes say weird things, and sometimes he doesn't understand why it's weird. We'll get to that at some point in some future podcast. But one of the things he did say was that I forgot what the topic was, but we were talking about Mexicans, and then Jeffrey says, "Oh yeah, Mexicans came from Mexico." We're all like, Oh, he did it again. Who else but Jeffrey?
Yeah.
I think the title for this episode is going to be like, "We'll explain it later.
Oh, that's
We'll
a good
talk
one.
about it later."
Yeah.
Always later.
I would go more detail, but
Yeah.
that'll take a lot more time.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But yeah.
All right. So
Moving on to
now,
Kenny.
now we're rotating back. We're going to go my first impressions of Kenny, and as he mentioned before, he and I know each other. I think probably the longest out of everyone. But
Yes.
I knew him from 5th grade. Was when I moved from my old elementary school over to his, and I think most of the connection was like he was friends with my cousin at that time, and because they were in the same class together, but I was in a separate class, and yeah, it was just like another friend, another guy at the time. Because you're like a 5th grader, you're not really like thinking too much on like existential things like homework or popularity or all that. You're just like you're a 5th grader. All you care about is just like having fun and watching cartoons. So he was a nice guy. I didn't really talk to him that much really during that time. It was mostly just him hanging out with my cousin. But we would talk every now and then. He came across as a nice guy. And I don't think we really talked to each other until like I think we pretty much just like skipped middle school.
We still talked a little bit in middle school, but it wasn't as much.
Not as much.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until like high school. But even then I was like going through my phases as well. But we talked a little bit more, and then as time went on, what was the word? I became like less antisocial and started talking more. And I think that's when we started hanging out in more. I was about to say more detail, but that makes no sense. We just started hanging out more in general, like after high school. So yeah, there's the history right there.
And then, my take for Kenny is that I met Kenny in the math class, geometry, and I didn't really talk to him at first until like I met him hang out with like Dean and stuff, and I was like, "Oh hey, it's you. We have the same math class." But yeah, overall, what Kenny said about me is like we fuck around a little too much in class. We did both fail that class, by the way. We retook
Yeah, we
it.
did.
But so the funny part was the next year when we took the class, we had the same teacher, like the same period, and then he got moved to an earlier period, which was a little sad, and I was just like, damn it, I hate this place. But you know, it is what it is. But Kenny was really like nice guy that you can talk to.
For my take on Kenny, yeah, we actually, what Kenny was said was right. We met in summer school, before we started our first year in high school, and yeah, we both love watching martial arts movies. I didn't know that he knew about Jet Li, Donnie Yen, Jackie Chan, all those good movies that you guys watch, right? Like from Rush Hour and like Bruce Lee's Game of Death. Nonetheless, he did have long hair back then, just like me. I was surprised. I guess it was that phase in us. But from then, we started talking and hanging out more throughout high school. He is a nice guy, I would say, definitely. And he actually likes he actually likes food too. I remember we talk about food sometimes. So, yeah. Overall, that's my first impression of him.
All right, my turn. I met Kenny in 8th grade, and he is the true gentleman.
No.
No. We met in our
English class.
in middle school English class, and there was this thing where the teacher would line us up, and we would go in one by one. But me and Kenny used to play this game to see who goes first, and we just got along.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
yeah, that's about it for me.
All right. Yeah, my first impression of Kenny is actually very similar to Jeffrey. Kenny, because I was always like with one of my friends from high school. I was like around him like all the time. You guys know who. And Kenny would always come up to us and talk to us and stuff. Just to try to get to know us while we are doing Paul's drill team. And yeah, he just seemed like a really nice guy, always willing to talk to you, and like Jeffrey, it still is one of the nicest people I know to this day.
Thank you.
Very heartfelt. Alrighty, Paul. Current impression.
Shit. All right. Current impressions of Kenny. Yeah. As I like noticed like over the years, he's like a very chill and relaxed guy. Like not even like over the years, just like always been like that. Even since like high school, he's very like he's the most like Zen person out of everyone. He's like the kind of guy you would imagine like, oh, once he like grows old, he's gonna be like have that long ass Chinese emperor sort of like beard. One you would see like from the emperor in like Mulan, something like that, and just like holding like a cup of tea and just like walking around with this one hand behind his back. He's very chill, very zen.
Yeah, very zen. Sage
Yeah.
wisdom.
Very sage like. And it's like whatever happens in the world, hey, it's whatever happens. And there are times where I'm jealous of that. Like I wish I had that outlook on life where just like, hey, just go with the flow. Because whenever I look at like politics or like whatever going on in the world, like the current coronavirus lockdowns and stuff, it always stresses me out. But then I look at Kenny, like, man, I wish I could be you. I wish I could have your outlook. So yeah, very
Thank
chill,
you.
very chill and zen guy.
My current outlook with Kenny is like a man he has wise wisdom to give. Overall, still completely a super nice guy. He does care about a lot of his friends. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would actually agree with Ron. He is still a very nice guy to this day, and probably one of the nicest people that I've met, even to this day. He is still very zen. I remember he would walk with both hands, just like Paul said. There are times when he would greet people. You know how they greet people back in China in those old days where they have their two hands together, like showing respect. He used to do that a lot. To this day, not so much, but he still got that zen vibe around him. I ain't gonna lie. So,
I agree.
I feel like Kenny definitely loves cooking more at this age because we're like so open to new foods, you know, like we know more cultural foods.
He's a
So,
master chef.
Yeah, pretty much a master chef.
Nah, I'm a master eater, dude.
Overall, a really chill dude still. And what else? I'm glad that we still hang out to this day, Kenny. That's for sure.
Likewise.
So, that's my take.
Right,
Uh,
Dean?
My current impression of Kenny is I treat him as family. We're like brothers, pretty much, or as we call each other, cousins or cuz. I've known Kenny for a while, and we pretty much like cooking, like we the same fucking we have the same taste palette pretty much, and one of the best people to search advice when you need some, and that's my take on it.
All right. Yeah. Like they all said, not only is he like one of the nicest people I know, but he's also one of the chillest people I know, and I just don't see him like get angry or I mean, obviously he feels irritated at times because we're human, like we all feel that,
Yes.
but he never really like shows it. He's just like really chill, and then he doesn't have a problem with anybody unless they have a problem with him, and I don't really see that happening because he's like the chillest guy ever. Yeah. One of the things I'm glad to have known Kenny all these years, he's of all of them, he's the only one that I've spoken to like consistently throughout the 9 years that I've known him. Everyone else I've known him for a while, but I didn't really talk to them as much when I was in high school. But Kenny was I've known him for a while, and we would hang out throughout the years too, every now and then. And then yeah, I have a lot of common with him, like, interest wise. Like we were both into Pokemon. I remember we were battling in San Diego or on the way to San Diego on our field trip. For I think we battled like a good 3-4 times.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, and we're still playing that to this day. In which me and Dean and Kenny are doing a Nuzlocke challenge together
Yeah.
on Pokemon Sword and Shield.
It's terrible.
We shared we share Yu-Gi-Oh together, and before you call us nerds, all right, it's just a fucking game, all right, who cares? And then we enjoy.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
We
All
did
right.
it out of whim.
Yeah, it just happened, and then all of a sudden, like we play every now and
Yeah,
then
we
now.
get into it.
Supernatural. He's actually the only person I've ever spoken about Supernatural with in length. Like, I remember the first. Yeah. I mean, Gabriel started watching it, and I talked to him about that for a little bit.
Oh, the
But,
show?
Yeah, the show
Yeah, the show.
Supernatural.
Oh, we could have talked about it. I enjoy the show.
Oh, really? But
Yeah,
are you
I
caught
am.
up though? Because I'm caught up.
I haven't, or I think I am, but I am waiting for the new season to come out though. I don't. I think I'm on season 13 and 14, or is it 14 that's coming out?
Right now it's 15, but it's on hiatus because of the coronavirus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm on 13 and 14, but I still need to watch those. But I am excited that season 15 is the last season they're gonna make.
Yeah, but yeah, I throughout the year, so I talked to Kenny about Supernatural because he was the only person I could. Like everyone else that I've ever known that watched Supernatural, they either gave up on the show like some seasons through and they just stopped watching, or something like, or I just lose contact with them. But yeah, I was like, Kenny was the only person I could talk about the show with, and I'm surprised he's even kept up till this long because I thought I was like the only person, and then I think he's like caught up to the latest season. He hasn't watched the new stuff for the latest season, but yeah, I was like, yeah, sweet, I can finally talk to someone about this.
Mhm.
And yeah, other than that, yeah, we have a lot of interest in common and we get along pretty well.
Yeah, Kenny's
you guys
pretty
should go out.
dedicated. He is caught up with One Piece since day one. That's how dedicated he is.
Yeah, I think he caught up Supernatural within like a few days. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, you wildin'.
Yeah.
Like the last season, the 14th season.
Supernatural, I caught up during spring break, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I was caught up with One Piece until they canceled Tsunami. But then I believe back in, I want to say junior year or senior year, when junior or senior year, that's when I got back into One Piece. And then I binged that shit and caught up.
Dedication thing.
Yep. Yeah, now we're moving on to first impressions for Dean.
Hey.
Awesome. Oh man, past 4 minutes past the hour mark.
It's
All right. So first impressions of Dean. This is probably, honestly, out of everyone, probably my most hazy, because I don't even remember how we first met. I probably knew of your existence during
Damn,
during
you barely
high school.
existed,
during
bro.
our-
That's what he's trying to say.
legit
That's how we
out of
are being
everyone.
existent.
You were,
Have no
you were on. I remember Jim Moore, who's like came in the RTC like 2 years after us. I remember meeting him more than I do remember interacting or even talking with you during high school. We probably did. I think that was back during the time when everyone started hanging out
Yeah.
at one of our friends' house that lived nearby the campus.
Yep.
I think during from like sophomore up to like even senior. But even then, I barely interacted with you. But the only impressions I really got was like, oh, he seems like a chill guy. Definitely very relaxed, but also like low-key a funny guy as well. But we didn't really get to really know each other until after we graduated. And even then, like a couple years into when I was like going to like college and you were like in the Navy, and even like sometime you got out. I think that's when, once this group started to solidify a little bit more, that's when I started talking to you quite more often and becoming like, I don't know, just like regular friends by then.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely the most hazy, but hey, even if I don't remember how we first met, I'm so glad it happened.
Yeah. To Paul, I'm just a presence. He's like, wow, there's a presence. My spider
Not
sense
even barely a presence.
Yeah.
Barely a blip on my radar.
Yeah, you're an NPC, D. How you
Yeah.
feel?
You're
To be
nobody.
honest, I didn't really hang out in RTC as much.
RTC, yeah. Yeah, because he all thought you're just all of you are chums.
To be fair, those were like some of my most social years, but also like very anti-social years as well at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rotzi, bro. Rotzi brought us together.
Alright.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Next.
All right, Ron. What's your impression of Dean, who's coincidentally has the same last name as you?
Dude, he is. He was a pain in my ass from the beginning. You don't even know. he took too much space in the room, so I had to be like, bro, I need your legs. I need like my space. You know what I'm saying? So I took his legs, and then I
Yeah.
I I I gave him a lecture. I was like, hey, you stay in here. Don't let me catch you out for the next 10 months. So yeah, that was my first impression of Dean.
My first impression of Dean, I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly when we first met and how we started first meeting, but I know that you are a nice guy still to this day, and yeah, you were very friendly back then when I met you. You were the guy that also walked around high school a lot with the guitar and popped into my biology class like almost every day just to say hi to our biology teacher. It's pretty funny. You walk in with a guitar, speak to him for like 20 seconds, and you walk out before
and then he
the
kicks me out.
yeah, he has to kick you out. He's like, all right, Dean, I'm sorry, man, but you gotta go. And then you're like, oh, all right, Mr. Sandoval, I'll walk out. And you walk out with your guitar.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we met more and talked more when we were playing that Moose Soccer game. It was
Yeah.
fun. I don't remember exactly what happened, but we probably were just screaming from pain, getting kicked in the shin, and just eating our hot dog for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I think we started hanging more in RGC as well when you start hanging in there more finally.
Yes, sir.
Nonetheless, yeah, I think that's about it.
My first impression of Dean, he was he was one of the most gentle. He was at for being eighth grader, he was the most gentleman like out of
No,
everyone.
no.
Just like what he said.
That's you.
About
Eighth
you.
grade, eighth grade English class. Right before we go in, we'd be like, no, no, you first. No, no, you
After you.
after you. No, no, I insist. I insist. Go, and then we go back and forth for like 2 to 3 minutes after the bell ring, and then I remember one day our English teacher was like, "Who is that saying that out there? I never heard anyone so polite before." And she walks out, sees Dean and I outside. Like, hey, how come you? And then like, hey, why don't you ask his class? Like, oh, he's not going in yet. I'm like, after you. And then oh, so you two
I'll
are the
go
ones
in
out
after
here.
him.
Wow.
No. I insist.
But yeah, so after that, Dean. After that, other than that, Dean always been a nice. I always, well, I was an eighth grader. I was pretty irresponsible. I feel like I'd always have to ask Dean for a sheet of paper when we needed it, and he always gave me a sheet of paper. And it was like almost every day English class because we sat next to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I feel like we we weren't really good friends, but we were like decent. We were decent friends, but we became better friends as we hung out more throughout high school.
Yeah. It was definitely sophomore year.
Mhm.
PE class.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right.
already.
Well, guess it's my turn. When I first met Dean, I actually didn't even know he was in my RTC class for like a whole semester. So second semester, I think we are doing something for an after school event, and I think Dean like came up near me and we were gonna lift something, and I was just like, and then he knew my name and everything. And I was like, "Who is you?" Because I'd never seen this man in my life. And then
Just the presence.
yeah, you're just a presence. And then
He's a predator. He's been eyeing you the whole time.
Too far here.
yeah, honestly, I didn't really know you very well. I saw you more as like, oh, when I found out you and Ron were related, I was like, oh, you're Ron's brother. and you're a lot shorter than him. But yeah, I didn't really know much. I think I didn't really get to know you as much until I think it was sophomore year, where me, you, and Joram used to talk about random shit in the morning.
Yeah, we sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I got to know you a little bit better. And then Ron was already graduated and gone.
Yeah, and then
But
there's
yeah.
a surprise cameo, Kenny, using the
Yeah.
bathroom.
But yeah, you seem like a cool enough dude off those morning talks. Yeah.
All right, dope. Now, current impressions of Dean. All right, so when I talked about Kenny as being like, as I know him now, as being like the most chillest guy I know, I'd say second on that list would definitely be Dean. I feel
Hey.
second chillest guy, but definitely probably the tops when it comes to, like, the funniest guy I know personally in real life.
Hey.
Like, he's the
Damn,
kind
you
of
made the list, bro.
he made the list, but I don't know what it is about Dean. He can literally say anything and make it funny. Like, he's probably talk about like the most boring shit in the world, and for some reason make it funny. Like, I don't know what kind of power he has. It's just like whenever he says something, I can't help but just like try to hold back laughter. Or just some kind of laugh. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about you, dude.
If he runs up to you and says like "fucker," what's that puncher? What is that? I forgot. The homeless dude that goes up to the reporter. Punch her right in the pussy.
Fuck her right in the pussy, yeah.
If he said that as out of context, it's like, this guy's hilarious. That's how you would feel.
Yeah. Again, really chill guy, but also really funny, and there's just something about him that I honestly cannot explain why to save my life. So yeah.
Paul admires him.
Hey.
Indeed.
I'll take it.
All right. Growing up with Dean, we're on the same wavelength to where I know what his kinks are, and if I read some stuff that it's PG stuff, I'll be like, hey mijo, hey, this is you, and he's like, no, that's not me.
Yes,
So to where, yeah, it's like we're on that wavelength, But yeah, overall, he's okay. But yeah, good.
Whoops. My take on Dean to this day, yeah, I'm still glad we're still very good friends. And yeah, you definitely know how to cook some bomb ass homemade steak. So I'll give you that one, Dean. I know you today as still the nocturnal bastard because you're always up hella late. You never seem to be able to sleep at night because you're just up.
Yeah.
I thought I snored the loudest, but I think I finally found out who else snores the loudest, and that's you. Yeah, that I can't compete with. To this day, I am still glad that we hang out, and I have to agree with Paul. Something about you when you try to explain things, I think it's in your voice or just your character. You kind of have like this, like I'm ready to laugh just because I get a sense of what's coming out of you. So that's my take on you of this day still. So yeah.
You have the Peter Griffin. No, not that. The when Peter was like, "Hey, yeah." The child. My gift to you is a child's laughter.
Where I can say someone's dying, and everyone's laughing like, that's funny.
Yeah, you're funny, Dean. I'll give it to you. You're funny.
I don't know about that.
Anything you want to add, Jeff, or?
Oh no, that's pretty much it. Sorry.
Okay.
My current impression of Dean, same as what has been stated. He's one of the chillest people I know. One of the funniest I know too. Like what Dean said, we get along pretty well. We both like cooking. We both like eating. We both like drinking. If you ever need a drinking partner, you could hit up Dean or me.
Or me.
Or Ron too.
Or not me.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Paul is a great drinker. Also,
Oh no.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
should. Yeah, you
Oh, man,
should
your
hate
alcohol
drinking
tolerance
all
is low now.
but yeah, overall, Dean's one of the chillest, funniest persons I know too. Has been said. But yeah, very wholesome guy, in my opinion.
Hey, don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you slipping, mijo. I'll tell Steve.
Oh boy, sweating.
So girls, if you're looking for somebody
Oh,
wholesome, who
oh, this is an advertisement. Nice.
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
I like it.
Dean's,
I like it.
This was the whole goal of the
Wait a
podcast all
minute.
along.
But yeah, overall, yeah, that's about it for me.
Damn, you advertising yourself too, mijo.
I didn't even do anything.
Yeah, like everyone said, Dean's a funny guy, and I also get along with him pretty well. We also have some common interests too, like manga, video games sometimes. Like, I think Pokemon as of recently, Yu-Gi-Oh again. We the three of us play quite a bit every now and then. And yeah, I feel like I can like him and Paul. I feel like I can talk to him about a lot of things. That some things like with Paul is politics, but with Dean I can talk about other things. And yeah, it's really cool having a friend that I can talk to about things. And him and Ron has never made me feel like I was never welcome. Or they always made me feel like I was welcome to hang out with them at their house. And I come over at least once a week, and yeah, then we get along well.
Yeah.
How about it? Chill guy.
All right, lads, we're on the last stretch right here.
Oh shit.
Last
Yeah.
person.
Last person, and we have 15 minutes of
Oh, actually,
total.
we have 8.
We need to wrap
Oh.
this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say apologies in advance, but not really in advance. This is like literally near the end.
Topic
first
was going to be
episode.
15 minutes, by the way,
Yeah.
on this on current impressions. 15 minutes
Clearly passed out with flying colors.
only. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
Short.
we're pretty good at,
I promise you guys, the next episode will definitely be a lot more interesting and a lot less of a circle jerk going on between like a couple guys.
I kind of.
All right.
You know,
I don't know, man. I called you sick freak. I think that's a good enough anti-circle jerk.
But we'll definitely talk about things that are like more inclusive next time, like
Yeah.
more things that people can like relate to. This is just like a really long introduction.
Yeah.
But anyways, first impressions of Jim. He was like a tiny kid.
Wow. Oh, you know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah,
You
he
are.
He was
not-
pretty
yeah.
short at that time. He was like a freshman. I was a junior at that time. Marching unit. Similar to the way I first met Ron during that time, I met Jim. Exact same circumstances. Except instead of like him eventually moving on to like another drill team or like dropping out, he just stayed with the marching unit that I was leading at that time.
Jim became his predecessor.
yeah.
Low key, there were jokes about like how Jim was like kind of like a mini me, but for most of the time I knew Jim during that time, he was like a pretty quiet dude. He and along with like another friend, like let's call him Tom, for the sake of it.
Okay.
Those two were very quiet guys, but they were like at least dedicated. They came out every day. But goddamn, they were really, really quiet. He's like the exact opposite guy that he is now. He was like, compared to how he is now, he was a lot less outgoing. Just like, he just did his thing. And yeah, it wasn't until like years later, or even like, not even like years later, probably like right after I graduated from high school, that there was a definite character change in this guy.
Yeah, I had a character development, bro.
Very, very fast character development.
I was also when it first met me, I was like, I think I was either 4'11" or 5 foot exactly.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really short at that time. But along with that character development also came with like legit physical person development in height, which still pisses me off to this day. That's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Alrighty.
Paul was like half a foot taller than me or some shit.
Ron?
All right, go on. Ron?
Mr. Kirby boy.
Ron?
The bastard
Ron?
left. Oh.
Oh,
Like,
I guess audience issues.
audio issues. Like, I was telling Jim about it earlier, but my first impression of Jim was just like, oh, they're so cute together because he has this. He's always hanging out with his friend, lunch, dinner. It's like, oh, you guys are so cute. That was my impression of Jim. He was very quiet. I never really hung out with him during high school, so I can't really say much. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
My current take on Jim is that, or not current, I'm sorry. First impression, I will have to admit with what Paul said. Yeah, I was very shocked and surprised that you were short back then. You were like pretty short, and you walked around with a big backpack too. So like I noticed it's you from afar away, like easily by my eye. It was hard to get to know you too because you weren't very expressive or like you didn't talk very much. You were a quiet kid, Jim, and every time I make a discussion with you, your replies are in like a word or at most 4 words. That's about it. And yeah, I remember one time you slept over before an event at our friend's house who lives 2 blocks away from our high school. Like his mom asked if you were okay because you were very quiet and she wasn't sure if there was something wrong. So that was my first impression of you. But you are an overall like a well-behaved kid. That was my first take. Yep.
My first impression of Jimmy was same as you guys, quite the quiet fellow, kind of reserved. Well, depending on who you hung out with.
Mm-hmm.
And then even when we invited you guys to hang out with us, like even after we have our events, and then we go hang out afterwards, like you'd be there, then you talk for maybe like 10-15 seconds and then go quiet. And then it's like, come on, man, try to engage into the conversation. Like I remember when our friends was dropping you off home.
Yeah.
Like he was playing music and he would like bop your head and you wouldn't bop your head.
Oh yeah.
So he had to keep stepping on the brakes for you to bop your head.
That's right.
So super quiet, reserved, but pretty chill at the same time too.
Dude, you guys met me when I didn't go through puberty yet. So you guys probably barely remember it, but it was before puberty when you guys met me.
Yeah. Pretty. And then as throughout the year progressed, I think we did get close. We talked a bit more. We kind of found some common ground we could talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my current impression or first impression.
All right. As everyone has said, Jim was very quiet back then. Like you wouldn't hear a peep out of him. Like I remember during our period of RTC, since we were in the same period, one of the friends that we have, we talk to each other how Jim is so quiet, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe he'll open up to me if I talk to him first. And this is how it happened. And I'm not. I know Jim doesn't remember because I really have no presence in that class. But I asked Jim how his day was going, and he just looked at me, and then left. And I was like, okay.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we were like in the middle of the class, the pathway in the main classroom.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey Jim, how are you today? And you just looked at me and like nothing, and then you didn't say anything. I was like, okay, like
Bro, I am so sorry. I must have like skipped over that dialogue box or something.
You didn't have your
yeah, you just skipped. You just Hey,
You didn't have subtitles on Mio.
press start to skip, and that's what you did.
Oh my God.
We didn't really talk until like your sophomore year, where me, Joram, would wait for class and we'd just talk about random things.
Yeah.
That's when we really talked. And yeah, that's my impression.
Oh
Now
shit!
we're gonna go
I
with
just,
current.
I just
Before
yeah,
you
I
guys
just
go to
realized-
current, just know that a big reason why I didn't talk to you guys back then was because I was just intimidated by older people. You guys were older than I was like, oh shit, they're older than me.
He saw us as predators.
Oh boy! Oh
So,
shit!
yeah.
Jim saw you guys as predators, but me, I was just like that useless NPC, man.
I talked to like all the people in the drill team, okay, like the ones around my age. I talked to them okay, but then like with you guys are older, so I don't know. I guess I was like a little intimidated by that. I was like, oh,
Like,
they big boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
understandable.
it's understandable.
Mhm.
All right, current.
All right, so current thoughts. As I mentioned before, holy shit, was there like a personality change? Was there like character development? And like legit almost every single aspect. This guy as I mentioned before, this guy used to be short. He used to be like, I don't
I was like
maybe
5 foot when I started.
Exactly.
5 foot. I
Yeah.
was probably around like 5'5", 5'6", around that time.
I was like 5'2".
Yeah, and then after I graduated from high school, went through my first year of community college. I don't know if you're. We'll ignore the height for then, because then I think the most explosive was after you graduated and then you went into college. But the character development changed from this quiet, innocent dude to like, hey, guys, you want to start a cult?
Oh god.
You want to like worship and like harass this dude who just graduated? You guys want to be like the biggest pieces of shit in the world? And he was like, yes, facts. Well, we'll definitely put the title for this podcast. We'll talk about it later because this is definitely going to be one of those stories. But that is definitely some like weird shit that this dude thought was fun. So, my current impressions is a lot more outgoing. He's the only guy in the group that could confidently, regularly talk about politics on a regular basis. He and I like share like the same like political circles and ideologies and all that. He's also the kind of guy who, ironically enough, when I mentioned with Ron, like, oh, he says some questionable stuff. This guy, even though we share the same politics and we're like, oh, tend to be a little bit PC when it comes to like certain topics. This guy also says some very questionable things. Of course,
What do you mean?
of course, all in good fun. But at the same time, in the back of your head, you're like, I don't know.
I'm not convinced.
I might have to call the PC police on this man. But a lot more talkative, a lot more outgoing, and also a very funny guy, especially when it comes to like making up accents. He's like he's like switching between like Russian, Farmer John's or something Southern.
Jim's very good at impressions.
Very good at impressions, so I'll give him that. He's like definitely up on the list when it comes to like the funny list.
I made the list.
My current impression of Jim, yeah, he definitely changed since high school, but oh my god, bro, he's a lot more logical than a lot of people that I know. You know, it's like if you talk to him, you can actually stay at conversation, but let's see. Overall, you know, I know why the reason Jim can say some questionable stuff. I think I influenced him because, all right, get this, because I gave him a ride to school so many times that you know I may have shoved a little bit of stuff towards his side.
That's actually not true.
Aw,
Another
damn it. I hate
group of
this
friends
dude.
helped me turn into
Yeah, he's just
what
a
I
sick
am.
freak like us, you know?
yeah.
Do you still
Okay.
have
But yeah,
anything more to say?
anything else, Ron?
No, go ahead.
He's upset.
He's like, wow, I had no credit.
Yeah, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah, my current impression of Jim. Oh my god, I didn't know how tall he has grown. Honestly, like to think back, like his puberty like went 200%. Um, I gotta admit, yeah, Jim is actually one of like more sophisticated in like talking about if you want to talk about politics or business. He's got that mindset to talk about that on a logical basis, of course. Um, he does say a lot of things that you guys would have just mentioned about how he. Damn, guys, I'm so sorry. I'm tired.
I guess, buddy.
Oh no, it's time. It's bedtime already.
I know, right?
You gotta
Without the
finish
alcohol.
before Jeffrey knocks out.
I know. But yeah, like my impression of you is that you have grown physically big, and as well as like going from.
Oh,
uh,
Okay.
Surely you
Oh, that
have.
means-
Yeah, if you snuck a peek at Japan, bro.
You have became more social. That's my current impression. It is very much different compared to back then, and I did want to bring that up because it's like a total 180. You know, you're a lot more sociable now, is what I'm trying to say and get to. So, other than that, you are still outgoing, and I know you could hit billiards, pool ball a lot better than back then. So yeah, that's my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an old time thing where I remember when you used to hit it, like you were 2 inches away from the hole when you hit the pool ball inside. You missed it. I don't know how you missed it, but now you can get it in. So I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't know about
he,
that.
he can get it in because you know he grew big.
He didn't grow enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
shit.
He's physically big.
But yeah, overall, you're one of those guys that I would like ask if I had like questions about a certain problem, if it's like social or, if it's like something along the lines like that, because I feel like you definitely have a good angle from a different perspective. So that's my current take of you.
My current impression, same thing like everyone
Inspection,
else.
paying attention, sir.
That's how you know we're like out of it at this point.
Same like everybody else. You really grew out of your shell from high school.
That's the right word.
Growing out of that shell, you're also like what they said, one of the funniest people I know. Also, truly outgoing. I feel like you're one of the guys. If you need someone to talk to, you'll be there.
Mhm.
You always got some. You will always have our backs. I'm pretty. I feel like my gut says. But yeah, also what they mentioned before, your growth spurt pretty surprises all of us.
I surprised
you
me.
bastard. You bastard.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be short forever, but
Yeah.
Hey, you steal some of Dean's legs too, or what?
Comrade Dog.
And then also a little backstory. I tried to talk Jim to quitting RTC. Also, I told him
Yeah.
it's a trap. Don't waste your time. But thankfully, you stayed. And then since you stayed, it brought you to hang out with us more. And then now we're here.
hmm
Yeah.
And that's about it.
All right. I guess I'm the last.
Yeah,
my
looks like
current impression of Jim. Sadly, he cannot hang with me and Kenny when we're drinking. It's very unfortunate. But he's probably
And you-
one of the people that can understand me and Ron's really dark humor very well. Like, Also, yeah, as everyone said, he's very logical in things when talking to him. And yeah, we have almost, some same hobbies: Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, just anime in general. And looking at back first impression, he's turned out to a very well guy. Very, very good guy. and that's
And
all
we're
I have to
also
say.
ugly brothers in arms.
Yeah, we are also the only two in this group that are ugly. We're ugly brothers.
It's not true.
You know, shut up, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
You don't get to say that, Jeff.
Yeah. But yeah.
No. Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
All right. Holy shit! I think
Wow.
when did we start this? 8 o'clock? Was that No.
No.
8:30? No.
8:30.
8:20 something. Yeah.
8:20. We are
Uh,
currently an hour and 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hey
Wow.
guys, let's start introductions. This will only take like 15 minutes. Proceed to like talk about like
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
almost 2 podcasts later.
You know what, Paul? Life happens,
Yeah,
all
life
right.
happens.
Well,
You know, I don't know if we're ever gonna beat this time. This is an hour and 40, dude.
I think we can,
It's
we
depending
can,
on
yeah.
depending on the topic we
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, and it depends on what time we start too. I think we're a little more limited today too, because
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody decided to show up late.
Hey man, I had groceries to do. All right, it's a pandemic. All right, I
You
can't.
hear that? Groceries
well,
to do. You
Well,
hear that?
well, you should have known that we're
Hey.
gonna do this.
I knew it was like 6:30, but
I
things-
don't care.
things but definitely what we need to do is like
Yeah.
when it comes to like future podcasts, learn to like say things in like a more concise manner, like shorten things down.
I don't
And-
mind us talking for longer. It's just that we started a little late today, so that made things a little more time constrained, more time.
More time
Focused.
consuming.
Yeah, I'm cool with us talking at length. It's just that, and I mean, I enjoyed the I'm satisfied with the length. It's just that if we start earlier, we'll have more time to work with, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think
Sorry.
like over time, well, it's like when it comes to like just talking in a podcast format, it's definitely going to be a skill that we will develop over time. It's not like just having like a conversation where we talk about whatever and we can just go on for as long as we want.
Yeah.
So
Right. We're all new to
definitely-
this.
this is you guys can definitely know that this is our first podcast run, not excluding the deleted behind the scenes of the last one that will never come to light,
It's
unfortunately.
lost
Yeah.
forever.
What-
Lost forever in the
what deleted
ether
one?
of the
I don't
internet.
remember. This is
To everyone still listening to our podcast, thank you.
Yep.
Mhm.
Thank you. Grazie gozaimasu.
Hope you got to know us a little bit longer and a
A little bit better.
little bit better, a little longer.
But yeah, overall, I feel like
That's
this
also
was
true.
a good background for them to know who's who.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
so-
worry. Don't worry. In the future, we'll add a feature where whenever I talk, you guys can just press skip. NPC.
Timestamps, like whoever they don't like, they just skip.
Yeah, and if anything, when it comes to like later episodes or like people who are just like jumping into the podcast, are like who are these guys? We always just point you guys towards like the very first episode. Like this is who we are,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll definitely go into like more interesting topics next
Yeah.
time.
So you say.
I mean, that would be the hope. Otherwise, no one's gonna listen to us.
Yeah. Of course.
To the viewers who's still watching, don't forget to click follow and click that bell button.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/the_Nincompoops for our live podcast. And if you're watching the recording and you're on Twitch, you can watch the recording at Nincompoops podcast. I'm hoping that it'll be linked from account to account okay, and you can find it more easily,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Oh, and FYI, Cloud Sleeper is still single.
Yeah,
He's
this whole podcast is just for that.
Yeah, he's down. He's down for anything. He'll try anything once. By the
No,
way.
that's not me, sir. There's a
Indeed.
limit.
No. Don't listen to him. Listen to me.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. Unless anyone has anything else to add.
Thanks
I'm
again
good.
for watching,
Not me.
for listening in.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Awesome.
for tuning
If
in,
you
guys.
survived the whole hour 40 minutes, I applaud
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I applaud you, seriously. It's our first run.
it's especially my alt tabbed Twitch on the same channel just to boost it up a little bit.
Alrighty.
All right, and that's it.